This is your second upper body workout in the comeback series. So again, this series is designed for those times where you've spent a little bit of an extended break away from working out. Maybe you're a beginner, you're just starting a strength practice, or you've come back after some time away. This is a series to help you come back into that regular strength training practice. For today, we're using isolation work in the arms and shoulders, these smaller muscle groups in the upper body. So I encourage you to go pretty light with your weight. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at just how much you can get done with very light loads when we position the body strategically, when we focus on mind-muscle connection, and we stay present. You can do a whole lot with very light loads. I'm just using a set of 8-pound dumbbells for today, but if you've been away for a considerable amount of time, or you're just beginning, you could use anything from 1 to 5 pounds. Doesn't have to be super heavy for today. I do want you to focus on creating that muscle tension by focusing on every contraction, every rep. Today we have 3 sets of work where we're combining those open chain isolation exercises for the upper body with some standing core work that has an emphasis on an upper body component. So you'll get a well-rounded workout for everything from the waist and above. We'll feel very uplifted and hopefully standing a little bit taller by the end of this workout. If any of the movements are new to you, I encourage you to use the alternatives that are offered. We do have a prescribed rep scheme today, which means we're not working with timers or intervals, and that means that your pace might be very different than mine. If you find that you're moving much more quickly, you can always stick with me for the first round of each set of work, and then complete the second 2 rounds on your own at your own pace so that you can make this workout work for you. The first round of each set of work will have a little bit more form guidance. You'll get more instruction, more cues, and then we'll move a little bit more quickly through the second 2 once we have those movements in the body. Again, we've got that prescribed rep scheme. We're starting with 12 and dropping down to 10 and 8. So it's this decreasing load structure. So I want you to try and have the same level of output with each subsequent round. So we start high when we're fresh, then we drop down 2 reps and down 2 more. So you should be able to continue giving that same level of effort throughout all 3 sets of this workout. As always, you've got your 5-minute warm-up and your 5-minute cool down. This one comes in just a little bit longer. We have those higher rep ranges in the first couple rounds. So it'll come in right around the 32-minute mark for the workout portion, and then we add 10 minutes for the warming and cooling down. So 40-minute practice, start to finish. It'll feel great, and let's get to work. Welcome to your upper body warm-up. We are going to get started. We have 10 exercises. We're completing each one of these for 30 seconds just to warm up all the major joints in the upper body. Take a big breath in, reach up. And as you exhale, side bend to one side. Feel that nice stretch across the rib cage and switch. Just side to side here for the first 30 seconds. See if you can create a little bit more space by sending the top arm back behind you. So we're really lengthening both sides of the waist, really elongating the spine here, waking things up, warming things up. Be here just a few more seconds. And then we'll come through center, interlace your fingers behind you. Stretch your arms straight and strong, stretch across the chest. Lift the hip bones up toward the low ribs, and then circle the head from one side to the other. Switching directions, just kind of exploring that space in the neck and shoulders, making sure that we're not opening with any tension here. Last few seconds. Then we're going to inhale, reach the arms up, lat pull. So as you exhale, take your elbows behind you, feel that squeeze, and reach up. You can take this nice and slow. We're just looking to explore the full range of motion in the shoulder and create some of that tone in the back body here. So we inhale, reach, and exhale, squeeze the elbows behind you. Again, we're just looking to wake up all of these structures in the upper body. Next one, we're going to inhale, reach up, and as you exhale, twist to one side. Press the palms away, come through center. As you twist, make sure you're aiming to keep the hips pointing forward so that we're really freeing the upper spine here. We're allowing the rib cage to move separate from the hips. Big breath in and exhale. We're going to shift to the back of the mat now, finishing out your twist, coming into an inchworm. So nice and simple here. We're going to reach overhead, big breath. And then as you exhale, take your hands to the floor, walk it out just to a plank. And then walk your hands back toward your feet, reverse the direction all the way up. So just exploring now a little bit of weight bearing on the hands. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Find that strong plank in the center and come up. Last one like this, we're going to hold that plank and touch the knees down. Come into a tabletop. Nice and easy cat-cow here. So as you inhale, stretch the sitting bones back, ripple up the spine, lift the head. And then as you exhale from the tailbone, round under, coil the belly in and up, chin to chest. Inhale, open, stretch the spine, shine the sitting bones back, and exhale, round it in. Try to use the full length of each breath here. Big inhale and exhale. Last one there. Now take your right hand behind your head. As you inhale, open the elbow nice and wide. And then exhale, take it to your left wrist or wrap it under. So inhale, open, and exhale, round in. So I want you to think about keeping your hips and legs stable and square through this entire range of motion. So again, we're really looking to articulate that upper spine. And switch. Right hand comes down, left hand behind the head. Inhale, open, press your head into your hands, and then round it under. Find your breath rhythm here. Inhale and exhale. We're aiming to keep the hips directly over the knees. Those hips nice and square. And just feel that space that you create in the upper back here. Last one, big breath. And then we'll slowly open, unfold to downward dog. So stretch the legs up and back. Don't worry too much about the legs being straight here. Maybe pedal out the feet a bit. And then as you inhale, hover the knees, come into bear plank. Find that straight spine. Exhale, send the hips up and back. Soften the heart, belly, chest toward the thighs. Inhale, come forward, bear plank, hover the knees. And exhale. So here we're just waking up the core, rolling forward. And our final posture for this warm-up, coming into a plank hold. So you can keep the knees up if that feels good. Otherwise, you're bringing the knees down. Just make sure that your hips are forward of the knees if you're in that half plank position. I want you to refine this pose. Really hug the heels of the hands and the ball mounds of the feet together like you're trying to create a ripple in the mat. Curl your pubic bone up toward your navel. Keep the neck nice and long, shoulders relaxed. Last one here. And slowly walk your feet to your hands. And then bone by bone, we'll roll all the way up to standing. Let's enjoy a huge breath together. Inhale. And exhale, sigh it out. Hopefully you're starting to feel just that little bit of heat, maybe a little bit of movement in the upper body. And we are ready now to get into our strength training. Let's begin our upper body workout for today. This one is targeting arms and shoulders. You want to grab a lighter set of weights. We are targeting smaller muscle groups in the upper body. So you want to reach for something anywhere between the 1 to 3 to 5, maybe even 8-pound range, depending on your fitness level and how long it is since you've worked out. This is our comeback series. So we are operating under the assumption that maybe it's been a little while since you've picked up the weights. So we want to take it nice and easy. Make sure you're erring on the side of lighter weights today. We do have fairly standard rep ranges. We're starting with 12 reps, so that higher end, and then we're dropping down to 10, and then our third round will be 8. So it's this reverse pyramid style. We have 3 sets of work. Each one will be done in those 3 rounds, and we'll have about 3 to 4 exercises in each set of work. So let's get started. We'll grab our weights. Our first exercise is going to be a lateral raise. So you're going to have the weights by your side, roll your shoulders back, lift your hip bones up toward the low ribs. We've got this nice tall stance. We're simply going to take the weights out to shoulder height. Here we go. 12 reps. So you're coming slightly in from the horizontal and coming just to shoulder height. Beware of swinging those weights. You want to make sure you're staying in control and that you're creating some tone in the belly. So you've got this nice stable trunk, and then you're allowing the arms to open out from there. This first round will be the most challenging when we're fresh with those 12 reps. Exhale as you lift up. I've got 4 more. Keep track of your reps. Here we go. Last one. From there, we'll go straight into our upright row. So weights are still facing in. This time, we're just going to bring the weight up to shoulder height, bending at the elbows. So you're going to take the weight slightly out and up into your upright row. Again, we've got 12 reps here. This one should feel a little bit more manageable at this weight range. Breathe out as you pull up. Feel those elbows nice and neutral. We're not looking to tip the elbows up toward the ceiling. We want to stay in that open chest, externally rotated position with the shoulders. We've got 12 reps here, and that's 12. From here, you can keep one weight in one hand. We're going to lift. I'm going to start with the left leg. You can start with whichever knee you want. We're going to stay in that standing balance. And with the opposite side, we're going to curl and rotate, come up. If that's too much or your balance becomes unsteady, just come onto the toes and put very light weight in those toes so that you have kind of a kickstand. We've got 12 reps on this side. Let's begin. Take it up, around, and then come back down the way you came in. So it's a curl to an Arnold press. Here, you have to stay focused. You have to create that muscle tone in the low belly, and your mind has to be present. So we're adding the balance challenge for a few reasons. One, to create that sense of being here now, creating that presence, but also core activation. We're loading asymmetrically, we're creating that balance challenge, all of which is going to fire up the core from the inside out. Here's 8 for me. That's 4 more to go. Take your reps nice and slow here. Try not to feel any urgency, especially with the higher rep range. I know when we've got a lot of reps to complete, there can be this desire to want to speed through them, but really allow yourself to move at that fluid but steady pace. And that is 12. Shake it out, shake out your balancing leg, maybe roll out the hips a little bit, and then we'll come right into the second side. So I'm going to lift my right leg now. You can choose whichever side you wish, and then opposite arm, curls and press. It might take you a moment or two, a couple reps to find your balance on the second side. Take as much time as you need, and remember, you always have the option of kickstanding that opposite foot. Sometimes it can just be a mental thing where you want a little bit of that balance support, or you just want the comfort knowing that your leg is there to catch you if your balance starts to waver. We're curling it up, pressing overhead, and coming back down. Again, we're not swinging the weight. This is a pretty light weight for this particular movement pattern, but that's why we're adding that little bit of complexity, that little bit of balance challenge while we have the lighter load. This is my last one here. Curl it up and press. Excellent job. Finish out your set wherever you are and shake it out. That was round 1. Our second round will be just 10 reps of each of those exercises. So you could roll out the shoulders, come into position, and when you're ready, we'll start our 10 rep round. So again, if your pace is very different than mine, you might pause the video and complete the second 2 rounds on your own. Otherwise, we'll do it together here. Let's lift it up and back down. Again, we're not swinging the weights. I want you to feel your shoulder blades really pressing onto the back to stabilize the shoulder as you lift. Remember, just 10 reps in this round, unless your weight is super light. Maybe you're being very cautious as you return to lifting weights. If it's super light, you could stay with those 12 reps for the second round as well. That's 10. Shake it out. Upright row is next. So again, slightly out and up with that weight. We bring it up to chest height and back down. Make sure you're extending the arms all the way at the bottom to that straight position. Start to feel a little bit of warmth in the shoulders here in the second round. This is isolation work. We've got open chain exercises working to really focus the muscle contraction in these smaller muscle groups. Last one. Excellent job. Now for the balance challenge, you can go down to a single weight and just work with that one weight, or you can hold a weight in each hand and just move with the opposite arm. So we curl and press it up. Just 10 reps here. Find a non-moving point that you can focus your eyes upon to help with your balance. Make sure you're spreading the toes of that standing foot nice and wide. So you're anchoring all four corners of that foot to create the stability we need to maintain the balance. 10 reps on each side here. Keep that belly drawing in. You got this. Stay focused. Just 10 reps. I've got 2 more to go. Find that smooth rhythm, moving the weight up and back down. Shake it out. Take a little breath. And then we'll come in to the second side. So opposite leg lifts, we curl and press. Again, give yourself a few reps. As you get started, maybe you slow them way down to find that balance. It's always a little bit tricky going to the second side. We have to sort of retrain the body on how it's supporting that standing balance. Again, today's workout should be challenging in a local way, so you should feel that localized intensity on the isolated muscle groups, but nothing overly exerting. You shouldn't feel like you're kind of wrung out by the end of this workout. We should have plenty left in the tank when we're done. Last one. Excellent job. And rest. You can set those weights down for a moment, shake it out. We have one more round and then we'll get into our second set of exercises. Shake out the chest, shoulders here. And let's finish this set out. Just a set of 8. So this should feel pretty sustainable, pretty manageable. Here we go. Control that lift and that lower. Find your breath. Turn inward. Notice where you feel the work. There's 8. Roll out the shoulders. We'll come right into our upright row next. Just 8 reps. Here we go. Our sets and reps get shorter as we move through, which mentally is always a bit of a breath of fresh air when you know you can put in that same level of work because there's fewer reps. So we can keep our output from diminishing. We keep that same level of effort the whole way through. That's 8. Come into your standing balance with that curl to Arnold press. 8 reps. Take it up and press. This first set has 4 exercises, so a little bit longer. Our second set will only have 3. We've got this here for 8 reps. Slow and steady. Keep the belly engaged. Slightly longer range of motion here since we're combining those 2 movement patterns. So take your time. Last one. And take it down, shake it out. Let's switch sides. Come into your curl and press. Use that opposite weight sort of as a counterbalance. Try to keep the spine lifted so we're not leaning side to side here. Squeeze and press. Breathing all the while. These slower, less intense practices are a great opportunity to really tune into your breath. Use it as part of your breath work practice as well. Last one. And release. You can set that weight down. Coming into our second set of work, again, we start 12, 10, and then 8. This time, we're doing a chest fly. So we're just bringing the weight up to center and back down. We're combining that with a tricep kickback. So you're in that static curl, just kicking back and returning. And then we'll have a minute at the end of each set of overhead march. So we're just lifting and lifting with that weight overhead. If that's too much, you can always bring the weight to your shoulders. So we'll get into position for that first exercise, the chest fly. Again, we're doing 12 reps here. So take the weight out by your sides, roll the shoulders back, tone the belly. Let's begin. Bring the pinky side together and back. Really focus on not swinging the weight, on not leaning the body back here. You're staying in control, keeping that muscle tone throughout the core and the rivers of the spine. So much support happening to allow that weight to come out and away from the body. You can always alternate sides if you wish, if that weight starts to get a little bit heavy. We got this. So feel that kind of wide starting point, and then you bring those weights together at shoulder height. This is my last one. And shake it out. We'll come into our bent position. Again, we're starting in that static curl, and we're simply squeezing the triceps and returning. I want you to feel a little pause at the top and come back. We're here for 12 reps. Try to keep the elbows fixed at your sides so that we're isolating the tricep. We're not letting it swing, not letting it drop back down. We stay in control on that return. I really want you to feel the squeeze in the backs of the arms. Maybe even like you're trying to squeeze the palms together behind you. 2 more here to get those 12 reps. And come up. Shake it out just for a moment. I will set a timer for this one because we have a minute of overhead march. So make sure you're ready. Once the timer starts, we'll have 10 seconds to come into our overhead position. I'll start our timer now. We're going to bring that weight overhead, and we're just marching in place. I want it to be slow and controlled, where you are lifting the knees nice and easy up to hip height. Here we go. Lift it up. We march and march. Keep your front ribs drawing in. If you can, get those arms behind the ears. Lift it up. You can pick up the pace a little bit, but again, we want to feel that control in both the upper and lower body, and then the connector in the core. We've got this. For just over 30 more seconds, really push those weights up. Keep that tone in the upper spine, pressing the shoulder blades onto the back. Nice and slow, nice and steady. 20 more seconds. Breathe out with each march. This one doesn't look like much from the outside, but you should feel that weight in the arms, that control in the core. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent work. Set that weight down just for a moment. That's our first set. We've got 2 more just like that. Again, this set a little bit quicker because we just have 3 exercises. So we're starting with that chest fly, Top of the second round this time, just 10 reps each. So set your palms out to the side. We're bringing the pinky side of that weight together at shoulder height. Here we go. Lift it up and back. So notice the position of the spine doesn't change. It stays fixed as you move those arms. We're not leaning back. That's what we want to avoid with this chest fly. We want chest and biceps to be doing all the work. So really tone the belly, squeeze those weights together at the top. Kind of take a wide circle around and up if you want a little bit more challenge. And here's 10. Shake out the shoulders. We'll come into our tricep kickbacks next. So come into your bent position, curl the weight up. So we've got 90-degree bends in both arms. Fix the position of the elbows. Kick it back and come back to center. Here's 2. So breathe out, squeeze the backs of the arms. Really lift and squeeze to the center. So imagine pressing your palms together behind you. Almost there. I've got 3 more. Keep track of your reps. Finish nice and strong. That's 10. You can set your weights down for a moment. Just shake it out before we begin our overhead march because it is timed. I want to give you enough time to finish out that set, or you can always hit the pause button and jump back in when you're ready. We are going to get our timer started. Once again, 1 minute overhead march. This is the one where it doesn't decrease in intensity with each round. We're going to keep that minute for all 3 rounds. In 3, 2, 1. March it up and up. Make sure that your shoulders are not shrugging up toward your ears, that they're staying nice and relaxed. You've got that strong engagement around the shoulder blades. It's like you're retracting the shoulders and hugging them into the upper back to create that higher level of support. You're drawing the front ribs in. You're keeping the lower back neutral. You're staying in control. So we've got this nice fluid movement. We're not leaking energy by kind of moving around a lot. We're staying in that core focused zone. We've got just 20 more seconds. You're so close. Find that breath. That'll help engage the low belly. Pull the navel in. Arms are behind the ears. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set that weight down. That was round 2. Roll it out. We'll come in for our 3rd and final round. This time, just 8 reps of each exercise. So we'll grab that weight, come to the center of your mat, turn the palms to face forward. 8 reps of your chest fly. Here we go. Bring it up and back down. There's 2. These will finish pretty quickly. 8 reps kind of on the lower end of our muscle building range. But you should still be feeling that challenge at this point in the workout after all the isolation work that we've done so far. There's 8. Shake it out. Tricep kickback is next. We are in a lower intensity, so we're moving pretty continuously. But if you need extra recovery, just hit the pause button. Take your recovery and then jump right back in. We'll begin with our final set of the tricep kickback. Hug those elbows into your sides. Broaden the shoulders apart. We kick back and return. Here's 3. Squeeze the biceps as you come into that static curl. And then we squeeze the triceps as you extend the arms. Last one, 8. Excellent job. Set those weights down. We have our final overhead march coming up next. Just 1 full minute. I'll give you just a couple breaths to roll out the shoulders, maybe finish out your set if you're still there. And we'll get started in 10 seconds. Grab your weight, get ready to bring them overhead. Make sure those shoulders are relaxed. Notice when you take the weight overhead, if your low ribs have a tendency to puff out, draw them back in, curl that tail under. Let's begin. March and march. We're here for a minute. And then we get to close out our practice with one final set of work. Breathe. Nice and steady. Drop the shoulder blades down the back. We're here for about 35 more seconds. Let your form be the best in this third round. Last one, best one. Every time. Keep that belly pulling in. Stretch up, telescope the ribs out of the pelvis so you're making your spine super long. We're here for just 10 more seconds. Finish it out. March and march. Last 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release that weight down. Set it off to the side. Take a little bit of a breather. We have one more set of work. As you recover, I'm going to quickly demonstrate without weight our 3 exercises. So first one, slightly hinged position. Palms are facing in. Weight is down in front. We're just going to reach out and slightly back behind. So I want you to feel shoulder blades pressing onto the back, not like you're squeezing them together, but they're pressing into the back so that your chest opens. That's our reverse fly. Keeping the belly tone. We're not arching the back, but we're curling that tail slightly under. That's your reverse fly. We're going to combine that with an arm rotation. This one we're going to do single-sided reps, so just 6 each side because it's very challenging. We take that weight out, around and up, and back down. Then we trade it off, out, around, and up. If that's too much, you can start in your static curl. Just come out and back to center, out and to center. Our third exercise, we're going to start in a slightly offset position. So you've got one leg outstretched, one leg standing. You're going to have a weight in your opposite hand, and we're simply going to cross the body and back up. So we cross, knee to elbow, and back up. If that weight starts to get a little bit heavy, you can bring it down to the shoulder and just tap and in. You can ditch the weight altogether and just be in that standing core position, that standing core exercise. So again, with the weight or without, up high or at the shoulder, crossing the body. This one will go 12, 10, 8, just like we did in the first 2 sets. So go ahead and grab your weight. We'll start with that reverse fly, 12 reps. Tone the belly, hinge at the hips, and let's pull it back. This is one where I really want you to focus on controlling that weight. Don't let it swing. Don't let it pull you back down to that starting position. Squeeze the weights at the bottom and then press the shoulder blades at the top. Find your breath. Find your focus. That's 12. Come up when you're ready, when you've finished your set. And then we'll come into those straight arm rotations. So palms are facing away. We're just going to take one arm out, around, and up. And then we switch. Each side, though, is 1 rep. So we're just doing 12 total for this first round. Again, if the straight arm is too much, you can always come into that bent shoulder raise. Here. So I'll do 2 reps there to demonstrate and then come back in. Find your breath, lift the spine nice and tall. Try not to lean here. So we want to keep the spine straight and strong so that all the work has to come from the shoulder complex and the upper back. You can take these nice and slow so there's no tendency to swing. Here we go. Last one. And come down. So you can drop a weight. You can keep both weights in your hands. I'm going to set one down and just focus on that working side. So we've got opposite leg extended out, the opposite arm reaching away, and then we just cross the body, elbow to knee. You can have your opposite arm out for balance support here. And I want you to focus on not rounding the upper back, but really lifting that knee to the elbow. That's going to engage more of that core work. Breathe as you cross. We got this. Just for 12 reps. This first round will be the most challenging. And switch it out. So you can take that weight to the opposite hand. Kickstand one leg out to the side, light weight in those toes. Opposite arm is out to the side for balance support, and we cross. Just 12 reps here. Again, your option, if that working arm is a little bit tired, is just to come to the shoulder. But we're still staying in that upright spinal position. So we're not rounding the upper back or leaning forward. We're using the core to lift that leg. We got this for 12 reps total. Closing it out. Last one. And rest. Shake it out. Rest for a few moments here. Roll out the shoulders. We have 2 more rounds before we close out our practice for today. So we're grabbing that weight. Reverse fly is next. Just 10 reps in this round. So we'll hinge at the hips, get ready, and pull it back. Squeeze those shoulder blades, press them onto the back. So we're taking it slightly back and out to the side. Just 10 reps this time. Getting easier, but we're building that cumulative stimulus here. So the reps get easier, but it's still that hard work from start to finish. Shake it out, come to standing. We're going to turn the palms to face out. Again, alternating arm circles here. So just 5 each side, 10 reps total. Here we go. Out, around, and up. This one, challenging no matter how you approach it. So if you need to, you can always switch to that alternative movement or drop your weights. Go down a little bit, find something a little bit lighter. 10 reps total. Taking your time, trying not to let that weight control you. But you stay in that movement pattern all the way up and all the way down. This is the last one here. We're going to set one weight off to the side and close it out with that standing core work. So one leg kickstands, one leg straight up and down, opposite arm out to the side. We cross, knee to elbow. Just here for 10 reps. Keep that spine super tall, like you're growing an inch with every rep. Bring that arm all the way straight if you're lifting the weight. Otherwise, coming just back to the shoulder. Still engaging the core in both of those variations. But if your shoulders are a little tired, we want to conserve that energy for the core activation. Let's switch sides. Kickstand your opposite leg now. Weight is out to the side and we cross. Lift that knee to elbow. So much good standing core work where we don't necessarily have to be weight bearing on the hands. This is a great way to still get that core activation while sculpting and strengthening the upper body. Last one, and rest. We are coming on up on the home stretch of this workout. Roll out your shoulders. We have our 8 rep round left to go. This one should be nice and quick. Grab your weight. Come into that hinge position. 8 reverse flies. Here we go. Pull it back. Make this your best set yet. Quality reps from start to finish. Stabilizing the upper body here so that we're not swinging that weight. We stay in control. That's 8. Our arm circles next. Feeling that heat in the shoulders. Let's get our 8 reps. Here we go. Take it overhead and back up. Use your options if you need them, especially as we come into the very end of this workout. I know your arms and shoulders are tired. We're working toward that healthy fatigue where we're sending the signal for muscle development without overexerting. So we want to be able to come back just as strong tomorrow, especially in the early days of our return. This is the comeback series. And that's the arm circles. Let's drop one weight and finish with our core work. Just 8 reps on each side. Kickstand one leg, opposite arm out. Let's begin. Cross your body and back. So again, try not to round the upper back. You're staying upright the entire time. You're using that deep core strength to lift the knee into position. And that's 8 reps, quick and easy. Let's switch sides. Kickstand your opposite leg. And we'll take knee to elbow. Here we go. You got this. 3. Finish it out with 8 reps. Stand up tall. I know you're tired, but you are crushing this workout. There's 8. Nice and slow. Let's set that weight down. Take your time if you're still finishing out your reps. And when you're ready, circle out the shoulders, stretch out the chest. Just a little bit of gentle movement before we head into your cool down. And I will meet you there next. You have just completed your upper body strength session, and now it is time to cool down. We're going to start our cool down in a downward facing dog. So you can start to walk your hands onto the mat, unfold, take your feet back. Just pedal out the feet a little bit. I want you to press your fingertips down and forward. And then soften heart, belly, chest toward the thighs. Really feel that stretch in the shoulders. Maybe even lift the heels. Parallel the legs, send your sitting bones up and back. And then can you make the head really heavy, softening that heart, belly, chest open. Focusing on the stretch in the spine here, less about the legs for today. And then we'll bring our knees down to a tabletop, coming back to cat and cow, just like we did in our warm-up. So inhale and then exhale, round the spine. Find that full expression, full range of motion here. Inhale, big breath. And exhale, round it in. We'll be here for a few rounds of breath, just kind of slowing the heart rate down, releasing any tension from the spine. So we're coming into a lot of the same movement patterns as our warm-up. Inhale, reach the right arm open, but with a little bit more of that static stretching quality. Thread that right arm under left, spider your left fingertips, really square the hips and stretch through the spine. So lift your hip creases up and back and allow the rib cage to rotate. So feel that freedom in the upper back here. Let's stretch across the shoulder blades. Breathing nice and easy. And then as you come up, we'll take that right arm now behind, bring your forearm to your lower back, square the shoulders once again, and this time take your left ear toward your left shoulder. Keep hips and shoulders square. Move your chin forward and back, side to side, wherever you need to feel that stretch in the neck and shoulders here. Last big breath. And then we'll switch. Right hand comes down. Inhale, lift your left arm skyward, stretch through the fingertips, and thread that left arm under. Spider your right fingertips here. Lift the hip creases up and back, square the hips, and rotate the upper spine. Soften the belly if you can. Let go of any holding you might have. Relax the shoulders. And then as you unfold, open that left arm up, bring the left forearm to your lower back, square the hips and shoulders, bring your right ear toward your right shoulder. Again, here you can move the chin forward and back, side to side, so that you feel that stretch maybe across the jawline even. Last couple of breaths here. And then we'll come into a puppy pose, but this time we're going to let the forearms touch down, press the palms together, and then soften heart, belly, chest toward the floor. Maybe bring the crown of the head to the floor. We're going to create a stretch, not only in the shoulders, but in the triceps here. You might even bring your chin toward the mat. Feel that spinal extension. You might sway your hips side to side. And then we'll come on to the belly. Bring your arms out to a T, right ear to the mat. And then you're going to roll to your right side and let your left toes tap behind you to the right. Keep aiming to anchor the shoulders to the mat. So we're really letting the lower back now twist. You can even bring your chin to the floor to get a little bit more of that rotation in the spine. And then we'll just switch. So you bring your left ear to the mat, roll onto your left side, tap your right toes behind you. Again, just feeling some freedom in the lower back here. Breathing nice and easy, again, softening the low belly. Feeling the grounding of kind of the shoulders and belly down. And we'll slowly transition through center once again. Come into Sphinx pose. Press your forearms into the mat, parallel your feet, stretch your toes back, and then just circle the head nice and easy, one direction and then the other. Really lifting up through the heart, keep your hips grounded. So we feel that lengthening in both sides of the waist. You might feel a little bit of a stretch in the lower spine as we create length in the psoas, so that hip flexor complex. And then nice and easy, we're going to come up into a tabletop. Press on to hands and knees. Step your feet to your hands. And then in your own way, let your head hang heavy and then slowly roll up bone by bone. Let's inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, big breath. And as you exhale, sigh it out, release. That completes your upper body workout for today. I hope it felt just right, like that perfect reintroduction, that perfect comeback to your exercise routine. Make sure that you are fueling after your workout with high quality protein, a little bit of carbohydrate, and that you're allowing, especially your upper body, enough time to recover before you jump back in to those upper body muscle groups. I want to thank you so much for joining me for this practice, for letting your body be moved.